Birth, marriage, and death records can often be found in very unusual places. This video will show you just a few examples. This map was found on the portal to Texas history and gives locations of where families lived. We had a family map. I tried searching for it. I couldn't find it, so I'm using this one as an example. But another relative of mine and I were searching, and we found this map, and we were able to piece together families and how different families interacted by using the map. Some of the families lived right next to each other or in the same area, and later on they had children who married. So we were able to kind of put together information about the families by using one of the maps. This is a Los Angeles City directory found on Family Search. I just found it by going to search and then records and then typed in directories, United States, and found this Los Angeles. Well, I just typed in Emma Aldous and came up with this. And in here we see that Emma Aldous is the widow of H.J. Aldous. So we learned that she was married and that he had died by 1942. Many years ago, I wrote to Western Carolina University and asked for information on one of my relatives. They had some of his work in their special collections area. For a small fee, they sent me copies of this ancestor's records. So if you have relatives that lived in a certain area, you can check the universities and see if something has been donated to them, some of their work or records that they have collected. Also, if you have records of one of your parents, grandparents, somebody like that, you can donate it to one of the universities. My parents attended Idaho State University, so if I had records of theirs that I didn't want to keep myself, I could contact the university there and see if they would be interested in their special collections. And sometimes the universities are willing to store those kinds of records. All right, this is my favorite example. This is a small sample of a quilt my sister has. We believe it was made by our great-grandmother and given to our grandmother. It is filled with wonderful information and is a true treasure. I'll show you a little bit more. This was a quilt that my sister had. I just recently went to visit her and was able to get pictures of it. And it is just wonderful. On it is, I believe it was my great-grandmother who made this quilt. And I want to show you some pictures of it. Let me put this one down. So in each of these little squares, it has the names of people. Estella Frank, Given, Nebraska, and I don't know what this part is down here, this RFD, whatever it is here. But this one, so I can turn these if I need to. So this is Desi Reinhardt, and this is in Montana. Let me just go through some of these other ones. Here's one I wanted to show you. Ida and Elmi Kephart, Salinas, California. I was not sure who that is. Most of these are people they're related to, or they're people that lived near my grandmother. I think this quilt was made for my grandmother, and it contained many of her relatives, cousins, nieces, and farther back. Anyways, I have not searched everyone yet. I don't know who this Maria Ugalandia is, but I think she lived in Nevada where my grandmother lived. But I wanted to show you this Ida and Elmi Kephart. I was not sure who they were, so I searched. I used Ancestry and I searched the census, and I actually found them. Let me put this down now. And when I saw who it was, Alonzo Kephart, I knew who that was. This was his son and his wife. Now it doesn't give me the marriage date, but it gave me enough to look for Elmer Kephart and wife Ida. And there was also one of those little quilt squares for Lucille. What she had done, my great-grandmother, is In most of the squares, it is the females of her descendants or her husband's family's line. But occasionally she puts husband and wife. And I don't know if she asked, the quilt squares are, the writing on them is different. So I don't know if she asked people to do a quilt square, sent them one. But obviously it was not done by the same person. Let me pull it up. You can see right here that how nice and neat this one is. This one was not quite as nice. Let me show you some other ones. And some of them are, this is someplace in Italy. I have not found that person. And Mabel T. Kephart, I've found her. And in many cases, this is where they were born. But on this one that I found for Ida and Elmi, it gave me that they were a couple, so I was able to find them by typing in Elmer Kephart and Ida, married to an Ida, and I found them. And I'm guessing that this is where they lived in California. That was their address. Anyways, I just wanted to show you that you never know where you're going to find information. And it may give you birth information, death information, or marriage information. In this case, I didn't find anything on death, but I did find birth information, and I have found some couples. So I just wanted to do a little video on some of the unusual places. If you have an unusual place where you have found somebody, in marriage or birth or death, please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section, and enjoy hunting. Happy hunting!